9.
Bombing the moon! What are they thinking? They should bomb Mars!
Nope, the target is definitely the moon, a crater on the South Pole. A rocket the size of a school bus will be sent crashing into the moon. The impact will kick up a huge cloud of debris that will be scanned by a second spacecraft looking for water.
Our stupid government and NASA is gonna bomb the moon.
Actually, no explosives will be involved, but the moon's defenders have launched their own counterattack.
You lunatics! NASA to send a missile to blast the moon to bits.
Some are joking, but others are serious. Take this online petition with 560 signatures and comments like, heavenly bodies should not be disturbed. Some worry about the effect on the tides.
By noon the next day, New York had been swallowed, and by dinner time, half the East Coast had followed.
But NASA says forget the disaster film scenario, that the moon gets hit by things like meteorites with the same impact several times a month. Leave it to Letterman to come up with unintended consequences.
This is something they weren't counting on. Oh, no!
NASA even got a call from a woman worried bombing the moon would affect her monthly cycle. Jeannie Mo, CNN.
May the moon stand strong. God bless America.
New York.
So tonight's big question, why exactly is NASA bombing the moon? And joining me from Los Angeles, educator and former TV host Bill Nye, the science guy, to help us out with it. So Bill, people obviously getting a little extreme about this, saying we're bombing the moon here, but explain the science behind NASA's decision to blast in search of water.
Well, in search of water, you see, that's the key. What are the two questions that haunt us from the first moments of being able to think? That's right. Are we alone, and where did we come from? These are the two questions that bother everybody, since you're a little kid. And I say bother, stimulate you. So there's evidence that the moon has some water on it in this part of the moon where the craters are so deep. How deep are they? They're so deep that they block the sun all the time, maybe for millions of years or even longer. And so in this area, it is possible that water is attached, chemically attached to dust or dirt, soil, on the moon. And so there would be water there that we can detect only by extraordinary means, and because it's dark and cold.
Right.
And so if you're a geologist, what do? You take a rock hammer and you hit the rock to see what's inside, to break the rind. So this is kind of the same idea. We're going to take a rocket booster and smash it into the moon first, and then fly through the dust cloud, the plume, with a spacecraft with a lot of detectors on it, and look for signs of water.
Well, Bill, you know, we joked about it in that piece you saw a moment ago, but in truth, we are getting flooded right now with email and questions online from people who are worried about unintended consequences, saying things like, how does this affect the tides? What does it mean for the weather here on Earth?
Well, it just shows you that I've failed, okay?
Yeah.
As a science educator, you have to, it's my fault, all right, that we have not impressed on people. The moon, although it looks small in the sky, is an enormous, gigantic, very massive thing. And when we hit it with the spacecraft, it's not even the wing of a gnat hitting you on the back of the neck. It's just insignificant. And so I am thoroughly charmed that people don't realize how small a spacecraft is compared to the moon. But this thing is going to make a hole about the size of a swimming pool.
All right, so quickly, Bill, if they do find water or ice particles on the moon, I mean, what does that mean? How big of a deal would it be?
Well, there's a bunch of people. Well, here's what it would mean to me. You know, I'm vice president of the Planetary Society. I represent a lot of people who think about space all the time. And what it would mean to me is there's a way for ice or water to be trapped in these very hard, rocky soils on other worlds. So it is perhaps even more likely that we will find water on Mars, liquid water on Mars, or places where there was a lot of liquid water that would have evidence of living things, some sort of Martian microbe. That was what it would mean to me. But there's a whole bunch of people that think the United States should invest in going back to the moon, and all we got to do is set up shop near one of these craters where there's a lot of this water ice, if it's really there in any significant fraction, and then we'll just have no trouble. We'll grow plants. Everything's going to be great. We'll have all this water. But to me, this is just not very likely. I think that the U.S. resources would be better spent sending humans to asteroids and then eventually to Mars. But this is a cool experiment, and I remind everybody, the cost of this, compared to the cost of other things that governments spend money on, is just tiny. It's tiny. It's not even a cup of fancy coffee per taxpayer.
All right. Well, Bill, we will see how this all plays out.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, for you especially. Thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The price of gold has never been higher, but that doesn't mean it's a safe place.